A future time bomb, the new warning about eating ultra-processed food and its impact on our long-term health. Now, an important health story for you this morning. A ticking time bomb is how one leading scientist has described the impact of ultra-processed foods. We're talking about things like crisps and bread and breakfast cereals that you might have on your table. All of those, the impact on the UK's health.
BBC Panorama team has been investigating the issue by getting a pair of identical twins to test a highly processed diet versus an all-natural one. And as Esme Stallard reports, the effect on the volunteers' health was clear after just 2 weeks.
So you're 160.5. Lovely. So step forward.
Amy and Nancy are 24-year-old twins.
So Amy and Nancy, what we want to do is to look at how food processing impacts your health.
They're taking part in a test with Dr. Sarah Berry and Professor Tim Spector from King's College London.
What you're going to do is for 2 weeks, Nancy, you're going to be doing the unprocessed diet, and Amy, you're going to be eating the ultra-processed diet. Then we're going to get you back here, and then we're going to do the same test again and look at how these different foods have impacted your health.
The twins' diet will be matched exactly for calories, nutrients, fat, sugar and fibre.
In the last decade, the evidence has been slowly growing that ultra-processed food is harmful for us in ways we hadn't thought.
The twins find there is one ingredient they keep seeing again and again on food packets.
And then the emulsifiers again. We've seen that a few times, haven't we?
Emulsifiers are essentially a glue. They stick components together so that they have a good mouthfeel and they don't fall apart in your mouth or on the plate. So here we have carboxymethylcellulose, CMC, which is one of the commonest emulsifiers used in the food industry. And I'm just going to demonstrate what happens when you just add water to it, and it very rapidly becomes like a glue.
The food industry uses around 60 different emulsifiers to enhance the appearance, texture and shelf life of ultra-processed foods. Some are naturally occurring, others are chemically produced.
It's found in an incredible number of our foods, and they are potentially harmful.
Dr. Mathilde Touvier is leading one of the world's biggest studies into food additives, publishing regular reports based on the health and eating habits of 174,000 people. She's been looking at emulsifiers' long-term impact on health. The BBC has had exclusive access to the early results. They're yet to be verified by peer review, but she says they're concerning.
We observed significant associations between emulsifier intake and increased risk of cancer overall and breast cancer notably, but also with cardiovascular diseases.
In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, food safety is regulated by the Food Standards Agency, the FSA. It says it's about to launch a public consultation on some emulsifiers. A spokesperson for the Food and Drink Federation said, "Food manufacturers take the health of consumers and safety of the food they produce seriously and adhere to the strict regulations. In the UK, all additives are independently and rigorously assessed for safety by the Food Standards Agency before they can be used in food." The results of the twins' test are now in.
Amy, you were on the ultra-processed food diet. Your results were really quite different to your sisters. They were far worse. Your blood fat levels actually went up. Your lipids, which are markers of heart disease, they were increased. Your blood sugar was noticeably worse. You actually gained weight, nearly a kilogram, and you actually lost weight.
It's a bit scary, isn't it, after only 2 weeks to see those sorts of results?
So just imagine what that would be over 20 years.
After just 2 weeks of the test, the impact of Amy's ultra-processed diet will be fully reversible. But the results are in line with a growing body of evidence linking chemical additives and ultra-processing to serious health consequences.
We already have the most obese children in Europe. That means more type 2 diabetes, more cancers, more heart disease, more misery, more mental illness. This really is a future time bomb.
There are now dozens of scientific studies warning of the dangers of diets high in ultra-processed food. The twins' test showed the potential impact these foods can have on you in just 2 weeks. Esme Stallard, BBC News.
And the full BBC Panorama investigation is called Ultra-Processed Food, a Recipe for Ill Health. It's on BBC One at 8 o'clock tonight, and then, of course, on the BBC iPlayer after that.
It's interesting because, I mean, that stuff, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's pretty
Yes.
much everything that's on the table in every household.